On my 18th birthday, my mom asked, "Are you ready to meet your real dad now?" I dropped my birthday fork and stared at the chocolate cake. "What do you mean, my real dad?" My voice came out strangled because dad had died in a car accident when I was 12. Mom pushed a manila folder across the table with shaking hands. "Richard wasn't your biological father, honey. I've been protecting you from the truth for 18 years, but now he's getting out and you need to know." Inside the folder were newspaper clippings from 2006 about a college student named Rebecca Walsh, who'd been assaulted on campus. Rebecca Walsh was my mother's maiden name before she became Rebecca Coleman. The next document was a birth certificate with the father's name blacked out in thick marker. Under it was a court document showing that Christopher Rankin had been sentenced to 18 years for sexual assault. His mugshot stared back at me, and I saw my own features reflected in his face. Same narrow nose, same high cheekbones, even the same slight dimple on the left side. "No," I whispered, but Mom was already pulling out more papers. "He gets released today at noon. His lawyer contacted me last week. He wants to meet you." "You told me Dad died in a car crash," I said, my mind struggling to reorganize 18 years of memories. Mom's tears were flowing freely now. "Richard did die in a car crash. He was your dad in every way that mattered. He married me when you were 2, knowing everything. He loved you completely." She showed me photos I'd never seen before of Richard holding me as a toddler, teaching me to ride a bike, cheering at my little league games. "But Christopher is your biological father, and he's been writing letters from prison for 15 years. She retrieved a box from her bedroom closet that I'd always assumed held old tax documents. Inside were hundreds of letters, all addressed to my daughter, in neat handwriting. The most recent one was dated just 2 weeks ago. "Dear daughter, I'll be free on your 18th birthday. What a gift from God. Your mother has poisoned you against me, but I pray you'll give me a chance to explain my truth. I've found redemption through Christ and want to be the father you deserve." The words made me physically sick. "How did he know when my birthday was?" I asked, my hands trembling as I set down the letter. Mom pulled up a website on her phone showing my high school's honor roll from last year. There I was, listed with my full name and birth date for the Academic Achievement Award. "He's been tracking you online from prison computers, school websites, local newspaper mentions when you won the science fair, your track team results, everything public he's found." She scrolled through printed screenshots he'd apparently sent to his lawyer as evidence of his paternal interest. The doorbell rang at exactly noon, like he'd been waiting outside counting down the seconds. Through the peephole, I saw a thin man in an ill-fitting suit holding a bouquet of pink roses. Christopher Rankin looked older than his mugshot, gray-haired and gaunt, but his eyes were intense as he stared at our door. "I know you're in there, Rebecca," he called out. "I just want to give my daughter her birthday present. 18 roses for 18 years I missed." Mom grabbed my arm and pulled me away from the door. "We're calling the police," she said, but Christopher heard her. "Go ahead. I'm not violating any law. I served my time. I'm a free man on a public sidewalk." He was right, and we both knew it. There was no restraining order because Mom's lawyer had said we didn't have grounds until he actually did something threatening. "Please, I can hear you breathing, sweetheart. I'm your father. Don't I deserve 5 minutes after 18 years? His voice was calm, reasonable, nothing like what I'd expected from a convicted rapist. I opened the door before Mom could stop me, but I kept the chain on. "I don't want your flowers," I said through the gap. His face lit up when he saw me, and his expression of joy made me want to slam the door. "You look just like my mother," he said softly. "Same beautiful eyes. I knew you'd be gorgeous." The way he said gorgeous made my skin crawl. Mom appeared beside me and addressed him coldly. "You need to leave, Christopher. Now. I have every legal right to be here," he said, pulling out a folder of his own. "My lawyer says parental rights weren't terminated. I want a relationship with my daughter." He tried to push the roses through the gap in the door. "Her name is Anna, by the way," Mom said, "though I'm sure you already knew that from your stalking." He smiled at hearing my name from her lips. "Anna, beautiful. I would have named you Christina after me." I slammed the door and locked both deadbolts. Through the window, we watched him place the roses on our doorstep and walk to a beat-up sedan parked across the street. He didn't drive away, just sat there watching our house. Mom was already on the phone with her lawyer, Patricia Coleman, who said she'd file for an emergency protective order, but it would take at least 48 hours to process. Meanwhile, Christopher had every right to sit on a public street. "Pack a bag."